Welcome to the 8th video of the lecture series Optimization using Excel. In this video we will discuss how to formulate a transportation problem both algebraically and using Excel. So I have taken this particular problem from this particular book. You can get the link in the description box. Otherwise the problem is like this. There is a company which manufactures fishing equipment and they already have two plants, one in Los Angeles, the other one is in New Orleans, and then they are proposing one additional plant either in Philadelphia or in Seattle. So this is an either or situation where an additional plant will be situated in any of these two locations. Okay, so these are the capacity figures and these are the demand figures. Like 200 units demand is there in Petersburg, then 100 units in St. Louis and 400 units in Denver. And this particular information is for the cost, like $100 is the cost per unit for shipment from Los Angeles to Pittsburgh. Similarly, like for example, $60 is the per unit cost of shipping from New Orleans to St. Louis. Like that. This is how the problem is defined and what is the objective. Objective is to devise or to find a transportation plan which is the optimal plan and which will give you the total minimum cost. So the objective is to minimize the total shipment cost or the total transportation cost. Okay, so the first step of solving any transportation problem is to develop a network diagram. At least for the first few problems, or people who are doing this initially at the naive state, they should always draw a network diagram before solving or before formulating the actual transportation model. So that's what I have done here. See, these three nodes are the supply nodes. This is for Los Angeles, this is for New Orleans, and this particular node is for Philadelphia or Seattle. Either Philadelphia or Seattle. This is an either or situation, as I told you earlier. Okay, and these three nodes 4, 5 and 6 are the demand centers: Pittsburgh, St. Louis and Denver. And these are the demand figures, these are the capacity figures. And what is an arc? Arc is showing how much flow is happening from any node to another node. So for example, xij is the flow, that is the unit shipped from node I to node j. For example, x14 is the number of units shipped from Los Angeles to Pittsburgh. Similarly, all others are defined, and the number inside the square brackets are nothing but the costs only. So now you see the problem is such that the total demand, if you do the total of this plus this plus this, the total demand is, the total capacity is 725 units, whereas the total demand is 200 plus 100 plus 400, that is 700. So therefore 25 units of unused capacity will be there. If you see the difference, 725 minus 700, which is 25. This is the excess capacity that is given to you. Okay, so now let us define two types of transportation problem. The first one is a balanced transportation problem. What is a balanced transportation problem? Where the total demand is always equal to the total capacity. Unlike this case, In this case it is not equal, but if it is equal then we will call it a balanced transportation problem. Okay, and what is unbalanced? Unbalanced is when the total demand is not equal to the total capacity. If the total demand is less than the total capacity, then we will add a particular dummy demand center. We call it unused demand, and which will be equal to the total capacity minus total demand. Like in this case. In this case, you have a total capacity of 725 and total demand 700. So you will define a dummy demand center called unused, and the demand for that dummy demand center will be the difference, that is 25. We will see it. And what is the other situation? The other situation is total demand is greater than total capacity. Then in that case also you will add a dummy capacity center and call it shortage, and which will be the difference between total demand and total capacity. Okay, so as we told you, we have this first case here, and we have an unbalanced transportation problem given to us, and now we will balance it. How? By inserting a new demand center, which is a dummy demand center, node number 7, where the capacity will be 25. Sorry, the demand will be 25, and therefore the total demand will be 725, which will be the total capacity also. So therefore the problem will be balanced. And so note that there are 3 edges, additional edges, because now we have to define 3 edges from 3 capacity centers up to this demand center. So X27, X17 and X37, 3 additional edges has to be included in this network diagram. And what will be the cost? Traditionally or customarily, you must include 0 cost for any demand, any dummy demand or dummy capacity that you will define in order to balance any transportation problem. So the cost per unit for the dummy center will always be 0. Now this is your balanced transportation model, and now we will define or formulate the linear programming for this. So how to define the linear program? So first of all we will define the objective function. Objective is, as I told you earlier, it is the total cost. Total cost is the objective of your problem. Now how to compute the total cost? See, this is the flow units and this is per unit cost. So if you multiply them, this gives the cost of one particular edge. Now for each edge you can calculate this particular cost and then sum it up, so you will get the total cost. So that is done here. Now when it comes to the constraints, there will be 2 types of constraints. One is your capacity constraint and another is demand constraints. Now you have 3 capacity centers, so you will have 3 capacity constraints for each of them. So you see, from this capacity center 1, 4 edges have emerged: X14, X15, X16 and X17. So total of that will be equal to the total capacity here. Similarly, these 2 are also formulated. And what is the demand center? You see, like in Pittsburgh, in node 4, 3 edges have ended. So x14, x24 and x34. x14, x24 and x34. This will be equal to the total demand in this particular node, which is 200. In this way you define for rest of the three. For example, in dummy also x17, x27 and x37. These three have ended here. So add them, and what is the demand? Demand is 25. So right hand side is 25. In this way the linear program is formulated for a balanced transportation problem, and this is the non-negativity constraint. So now let us open an Excel worksheet and see how it can be solved using solver. So in Excel, the first step is obviously to just repeat the table here, write the table as it is written in the question. Just change it a little bit, like for example, in the rows, that is the capacity centers, write from LF, from NO, from fill, and so on. And similarly in the demand centers, write to. Okay, even if you don't write to or from, that is also okay, no problem. But if you write this in this way, then your answer report, remember the answer report looks good. Otherwise it is okay if you write in this form also. Okay, so as I told you, we have to formulate this by as if it is a balanced transportation problem. So therefore we will use the new capacity center, new demand center, which is your unused. So I have opened a new column called unused, which is a dummy demand center and has a demand of 25 units. And this is the capacity and this is the demand. Okay, and now the next step should be to make a blank table. Why blank table? Because here the optimal solution will be populated after you run the solver. Okay, and this is, in this particular row you will compute the total by using the sum function total, and here also you will do the total. This is what is the total units sent. And what is this? This is your total cost. How to calculate the total cost? We have learned this by using the sum product function. If you do the sum product of this is the per unit cost, and this is going to be your decision variables, that is the xij values. If you do this will give you the total cost. So remember, this is your xij, this particular matrix. Okay, so then go to data and solver. I'm clearing this because I want to enter this in front of you. So in the set objective box is the total cost, that is C14 as your total cost objective function. We will minimize the total cost. And what is your variable cells? It is your decision variable xij, that is this one. And then in constraint function, you know that we will add the demand constraints like this, equal to total demand, add, and then total sent is equal to total capacity. See, we have entered all the three capacities together, similarly, or the four demands together. So this is how it is. And we have already selected the simplex LP, and then therefore click on solve. So this is your optimal solution. What is the interpretation? Interpretation is, for example, from LA to Denver, you will send 150 units. From New Orleans to Denver, you will send 200, and 25 units of New Orleans will remain unused. Then from Philadelphia to Pittsburgh, you will send 200 units, to St. Louis 100 units, and to Denver 550 units. So in this way, the total of each area, each demand centers are fulfilled, and the total of each capacity centers are consumed. So in this way, you will in the same manner you can use the formulation for you can formulate for Seattle as well. We only change that has to be made here is the text that you need to change here, make it Seattle, and the cost per unit cost figures. This is also given in your question. So replace these Philadelphia figures with your Seattle figures, and then again similarly you run the solver, solve. See, you can use this answer report and sensitivity report also if you want, but what will happen in this case is, see here in answer report everything looks fine, no problem. For example, as I told you, if you write the from and to in columns and rows, rows and columns, as I mentioned here, you will get it in a nice way, like it is as if it is writing it in English, from LA to Pitts, from LA to St. Louis. What is the final value that it is written? The summary is good, what I mean to say. But in the sensitivity report, see that there are several entries where you will get uh, no, sorry, actually in sensitivity report also you don't find any allowable increase or decrease that is equal to 0. Therefore the sensitivity report is valid and it can be referred to for analysis. What kind of analysis? For example, if I increase the objective coefficient, that is the total, that is the cost per unit in the route LA to St. Louis below 5, below these 5 units, then your optimal solution, that is the final value column, remains the same. That is one observation from the sensitivity report. Like that, we have already discussed how to interpret a sensitivity report, so all those things can be used here. Anyway, so this is how you will formulate the balanced transportation problem here. But what I want to communicate here also is it is not essential actually to make a balanced transportation matrix in order to solve the problem using a software. For example, if I delete this unused column here, then what will happen? Actually, nothing will happen. You can still solve it. How? You go to Excel and then go to solver, and instead of using these capacity constraints as equality, you keep it as less than equal to. So now your total capacity that is there is not fully consumed. That is, whatever you have sent should be less than or equal to the capacity. Not exactly equal to is not required. So add this and then solve it again. So see, again the same solution is coming. So what I meant to say here is, you don't have to formulate, or you don't need to formulate a balanced transportation problem in case of Excel. If you want a solution, you can keep it in unbalanced form also. Balanced transportation problems are actually required when you solve it manually using transportation simplex method, which is a part of operation research uh, algorithms that we are not discussing here. We are primarily discussing in this course the Excel models, or how to solve any problem using Excel, any LP problem or transportation problem using Excel. So if you are using Excel or rather any other software, you don't need to formulate it in balanced form. You can very well go with unbalanced form also. That's what I want to communicate. Now, the last thing I want to say here is I have made an MILP here. What is MILP? MILP, which means mixed integer linear programming. Mixed integer linear programming. What's that? This means some of the variables, some of the which variables? Some of the decision variables are binary. Others are just real numbers greater than equal to 0. So in this case, I have defined two binary integers for the selection of Philadelphia or Seattle. So I'm not going to discuss this problem here. This is a little bit complicated and I have not covered this until now. So I don't want to discuss this. Just I want to mention this here that these are two decision variables, binary decision variables that are taken here. Rest all are non-binary. So therefore it is a mixed integer linear programming. And then we have formulated it in such a way that now you don't have to make two separate models here, like as I did here. For one problem was for Philadelphia, and then the next problem was for Seattle, and then we are comparing the total cost. See, in case of Philadelphia, it is 43,000. In case of Seattle, it is 36,125. Therefore, your decision is, let us build a plant in Seattle. So that is one method, solving a linear programming for two locations. What I am saying here is, I will solve only one model and tell you which plant is to be used in which location and how much transported, how much units of goods are going to be transported from a particular node to some other node. So that is the purpose of your mixed integer linear programming, making the two models together in one model. So that's it for now. It is complete. Let us go to the slide again. In the next video, we will take a transshipment problem, and again we'll see how to solve it using Excel. We will also formulate it. A transshipment problem is very similar to a transportation problem, only there is some additional constraints are there, and the network is also a little bit changing. A number of nodes are also changing, so that we will see when we will discuss that. So that's it for now. Thanks for watching.